This is how you walk when you know you've got your payments covered. You're confident. No bill payment can shake you. Need to make a quick payment? Your Fidelity banking apps are available 24/7. You don't have data? Star 770 hash is all you need. You're out and about? Your Fidelity bank cards accepted everywhere. Need cash right now? There's a Fidelity Bank ATM near you. Bills, transfers, payments, purchases, nothing can faze you. So walk tall, cause you know Fidelity is always there for you. Start banking with Fidelity today.
We're Fidelity. We keep our word.
Yes, just like Fidelity, the bank that keeps to its words, we at HotFM 93.3 Lagos every Thursday morning 9 a.m. endeavor to keep to our own words against all odds. Welcome to yet another wonderful time on radio. Financial Matters brought to you by Fidelity Bank. I still remain your humble host, William Suzumba, and today, yet again, we shall be treating another very unique and at the same time interesting topic. And before we jump into that, let me just do a quick intro for those of us who might just be joining the show for the very first time. This is Financial Matters brought to you by Fidelity Bank, and every Thursday morning on Hot 93.3 FM on the show, we look at the do's and don'ts of a modern business. We also look at some of the regulatory numbers coming out from the government and some other quality information that both you as an individual and as a business need to grow in today's highly competitive environment. Now, today on the program, I've decided to treat the topic, the business culture / investment opportunities in Nigeria. The business culture in Nigeria and the investment opportunities too. Now, Nigeria, no doubt, is said to be the giant of Africa with enormous potentials to do great things. However, understanding the way things the way things work can be a big challenge for both business owners and investors. In every clime, even aside from Nigeria, in every society you find yourself and you want to set up a business, it's very important to understand the culture, the way things are done in that particular society. And that's what we're going to look at this morning. And as it's customary, it's going to be another interactive session, and I have my guest in-house today who will be helping us to fully dissect today's topic. My guest this morning is no other person than Mr. Ugodre Obichukwu. How you doing, sir? Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Good. I'm fine. A quick profile from my guest this morning. Mr. Ugodre Obichukwu is the founder and partner at Nairametrics Financial Advocates, owners of nairametrics.com. Ugodre is a chartered accountant with over 18 years working experience. His work experience covers accounting, corporate finance, financial management, corporate strategy, business development, change management, and personal finance. So you see one of the reasons why I decided to bring him on board, because he has a wealth of experience that can help us really smash today's topic very well. So once more, sir, you're welcome to the program. And remember, it's always an interactive session on financial matters. Our phone lines remain 0818-242-6591. I repeat, 0818-242-6591. So once the show kicks off fully, you feel free to call in with your questions and contribution. Now, let's get right into it. Now, Ugodre, the very first question I have for you this morning, call it more like a cliche. What would you describe as the business culture in Nigeria?
It's a cliche. It's broad. So, I think in Nigeria, business culture has
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Finally, the most important point of view,
Customers. Yep.
But generally speaking, I think Nigerian business culture and Nigerian hustle spirit. I think a lot of people are in business to hustle to actually make money.
Mm.
The
can thrive.
Business culture is also mostly built around
Mm.
this, right? So if that person dies, the business kind of like dies.
Dies with it.
Right. So not necessarily built around institutions or structures. I mean, that's the majority of businesses that are well structured.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Most of the businesses and so that in a nutshell.
Mm.
And then sometimes it's also kind of rent seeking anyway. So most people are in business because you're in business for the short term. You
Mm.
tend to look for short term returns
On investment, yeah. Mm. Cash in, cash out kind of business.
Not necessarily produce much,
Mm.
right? Not necessarily like add a lot to the economy, but you can take out a lot of. I was complaining bits of like an architect, working hard, have built a lot of skyscrapers.
Yeah.
in Lagos.
Yeah.
But man, my guys are so much richer than I am. Like I enjoy people. I've done a lot of stuff. I'm like, why this so much respect? Suppose someone deal in Banana Island. You make 300 million. Like,
Straight up.
like you have, like you actually haven't.
That, of course. Of course.
So I'm not like there's anything wrong with that kind of business.
Yeah.
The point is, in terms of business culture, that's kind of like
That's pretty much how it is.
and, office environment, people are very
Mm.
very relaxing environment.
Mm.
People don't really like environment that's very harsh.
Mm. 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 Yeah. I get you. I get you. I get you. Pretty much understood. Now let's make progress to this other question that I have. Sounds like another cliche of a question too. Is Nigeria safe for business? Because on this show, part of what we do is we advise and inform our listeners, which of course cuts across entrepreneurs, investors, wannabe business owners. So this question becomes very key and important. And it's very from your experience, with your years of experience. Would you say Nigeria is safe for business?
Of course. I mean, I do business in Nigeria, so I would say for sure that Nigeria is safe for business. The only thing, though, is it depends on where, right? It depends on which part of the country. And when I say it depends on which part of the country, there will typically be different kind of benchmarks, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a safety quadrant of 1 to 5, there are some parts of the country that would typically be around 1, and then there are other parts that are the extreme of 5. So, but generally speaking, I think Nigeria is safe for business. Come on, they have a lot of investors coming into this country, pouring money into this country to invest, and either they're pouring that money through startups, or they're pouring that money through, government, really government bonds or securities. I think Nigeria is safe for business. What we struggle with is a little bit different. Maybe there are regulatory issues or things around doing business. But in terms of safety, I think more or less Nigeria is safe. I mean, it's not one of the worst places to do business in, and let's be real. Nigeria is also where if you've got your business model right, you can make a lot of money. Yeah, a lot of money. And talking about Nigeria is safe for business as well. I have, look around you. A lot of diaspora Nigerians out there who are repatriating money in droves into this country. They just want to come in and establish, some kind of presence. Not only because it's home and maybe they're homesick. They do this also because it looks like it's a viable way of making money, right, in the country. So safety of investments is always very important for any economy. Nigeria can be safer. Not saying that we're 100% there. We have issues with security agencies, threatening safety of business. You have issues with government regulations, threatening safety of business. You have issues with Shylocks, people who just want to out there to want to ruin your business and all that. But by and large, I would say safety of business it's fine in Nigeria, and that's why you see a lot of small businesses open. I mean, like, which other country do you go to that you can just have one guy wake up one day and just say, man, I want to sell gadgets. He just goes to buy
a shop space,
a truck
or a
trolley, or just
and
buy
loads everything in it.
Is it shovel? I mean, what's that? Wheelbarrow.
Yeah,
and then just loads gadgets with it. Goes somewhere, gets gadgets, and that's it. Business started, and it starts to roll around the street. And if he's very lucky, and his hustle spirit is well guided,
he moves from there to a shop,
small shop. And that's it. So a lot of people, I mean, most countries, you can't do that.
True.
Right? You can't. You just can't wake up one day and say you just want to start selling. Like, you gotta either work for someone or go get
some kind of certification, licensing.
But here, easy. Just do that. You can't. So it all depends on where you want to play. So I think in terms of safety, pretty much a safe environment to do business. Can be better, yes, but it's safe.
Fantastic. And I pretty much agree with what the analysis you just gave, because if it's not safe to do business in Nigeria, many of these are folks that you, like the ones you mentioned, would not be in business. They wouldn't venture into it. Yeah. So I pretty much agree with that. Now, okay, this is also like a follow-up question to the last question I asked, which is now very direct. Is Nigeria a good place to do business? Now, this question stems from the fact that when I was doing the research on this topic, the rating from the World Bank rates Nigeria at 131st out of 190 countries that has the ease of doing business. Though they said this marked improvement from its previous rankings, and the country performed well for factors such as ease of getting credit, which we came 15th, and protecting minority investors, which we came 28th. How would you break this analogy from the World Bank, this report of 2020?
It's pretty much dismal, not where we want to be. Especially when you consider that this government has invested a lot in ease of doing business, in trying to basically break down a lot of the bottlenecks that businesses suffer in this country. But we still get a lot of challenges with ease of doing business, and that's what this ranking basically shows, that there's a long way to go. So whether it's in terms of applying for a license, or in terms of trying to get credit, in terms of getting regulatory approvals or regulatory onslaughts and interventions, it's just pretty tough, to do business here as well. So safety is one end, but actually conducting business pretty harsh, not that easy, in this country. So and that's because business owners have to face a lot of things. So even things like access to power or electricity, access to other forms of utilities, things that you really shouldn't worry about, and just let your business focus on what your core business competencies. It's much difficult here. And then there's the issues of multiple taxation here and there, and then not really clear whether the tax guy is here to help boost your business, or whether it's competing with you. So they're just different kind of inhibitions or things that basically affect how businesses are run. That's my take, and that's why you see Nigeria ranking 131 out of 190 countries. We thought that by now we should have broken into the top 100, but seems pretty much impossible at this stage. And it's kind of unfair. It's kind of shameful though, because you have other African countries like Rwanda and co who have very good ratings. Yeah, good ratings. Rwanda, Ghana, and all that. But be that as it may, I think that there are other areas that are, like I said, not that bad. Access to credit has improved drastically, yeah, because I think that more than ever, and look, if you're listening, like anywhere, take this from me, more than ever, it's easier to get a loan in Nigeria than I have ever seen, like since I've been tracking this economy. Much easier.
Especially with so many of these are fintech companies.
Yeah, there's the competition there is incredible, and it's only going to get better. You know, they've basically expanded consumer credit, which means you can get loan to finance, you know, vehicle, personal things. You know, you've seen a lot of that, personal loans, different kind of loans. Where you're going to see a lot of improvement now is mortgage. See a lot of more mortgage financing. I think, you know, it's where there's going to be a lot of value. And for a lot of Western countries that have very solid, deep economies, it's basically been mortgage driven. So, because when people can finance homes and own homes, the economy just grows. You know, the economy rides on the back of home ownership and, you know, mortgages to basically grow. Because when banks are writing mortgages, then you're unlocking funds to build more homes. You're creating jobs because, you know, the construction industry is growing, and from there on, that filters into the service industry because they're providing all sorts of service, and then the banks as well provide all sorts of financial products, and the economy just gets intertwined and it starts to grow, and everybody's growing at the same time. I mean, just incredible stuff, and that's really where, you know, this is going to get. So a lot of fintechs now are focused now on consumer credit and, you know, basically turning things around there, disrupting that space. But you will see a lot of these things filter into mortgage sector as well. So in terms of credit, we're doing well, but, you know, generally speaking, it's a very tough environment. I must say, like, incredibly tough place to work. Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, remember, you can be part of this morning's program. Our phone lines still remain 0818-242-6591. I repeat, 0818-242-6591. And my guest is still Mr. Ugodre Obichukwu, the founder and partner at Nairametrics Financial Advocate. Now, Ugodre, let's look at this other angle. Still on this issue of the ease of doing business. Some listeners out there this morning might want to go like, wait a minute, how is this statistics really calculated? How do they come about this position giving us 131 out of 190? How do they calculate this thing? So how would you break it down for our listeners?
I'm not sure I want to. I'm gonna go into breaking it down on radio. I mean, like, but it's there are clear metrics for doing this. It's done by the World Bank. So I mean, there are a lot of statisticians in there, and they have you know, agents in nearly every country in the world.
Of course,
these guys, part of what they do is basically gather data, and they also measure some of these things. So, how long does it take to apply to get to open a company in Nigeria? I mean, easy to measure some of those things, right? So you take your own measurement, and then the other employees from the World Bank in other countries take measurements, and then everything is sent to the center and then analyzed, and then your ranking comes out. So you had to fault this one. Had to fault it because it's something you can basically do yourselves. And to show you how intricate they are, they actually have this data per state as well.
Oh, okay.
Per state. So it's not just Nigeria.
A generic
alone. Yeah, they can even give it to you per state. So it gives you an idea of where you want to set up a business. And like some of us have always said, there should be some kind of competition among states, right? So state governments should, compete with each other. So I mean, with technology and market integration, why should I set up a business in Lagos? Why can't I set it up in Jigawa or Benue or Abia or something like that? But for me to want to set up my business in Jigawa or Abia, there's got to be a reason. Is it that labor is cheaper there?
Yeah.
Is zero taxes there or lower taxes? Is the infrastructure in that state, good enough to help run my business?
True.
That's sort of like the kind of competition we want to see with states, and ease of doing business should actually point us to that direction. But one challenge is also the way the political structure of the country is sort of construed and set up. So a lot of incentives to foster competition among states. It's not really very well defined in the constitution, right? So you have to really go and adjust. Today, corporate taxes are collected by the federal government, not state government. So based on that, there's no, I mean, apart from maybe infrastructure, there's really no tax incentive that, states can give government, businesses to want to come, to their town. Also, personal income taxes are sort of set up on a central level and it cuts across all states. So states can't on their own just say, you know what,
this is what we want you to be paying for this.
They're going to be paying, right? So where you see states have some kind of, independence in their taxation, and maybe things like consumption taxes and local, government taxes, and then those things don't really impact on the bottom line of companies. So what they're left with is just infrastructure, maybe ease of doing business as well. Because if you're doing business in any state in any country, you do interact with the local authorities there as well. So that's really where it is. But I think that in terms of ease of doing business and how it's calculated, it's pretty much transparent. I think that if we paid more attention to it, a lot of states today that are crying of having money would do whatever it takes to attract businesses in there. Who knows? Maybe we should even have our own internal ease of doing business ranking, like just do it state by state. There are organizations who try to do this as well, but maybe not as rigorous as the World Bank, but had to fault that report.
Fantastic. I when I was looking at this topic, I love the catchphrase regulatory best practices. So the World Bank uses it. There are some stipulated best practice you should follow to be able to ascertain whether you're doing the right thing or not. Okay. Now let's look at this other question. Okay. Can you help us understand some of the factors that makes it a bit hard to do business in Nigeria? What are some of the pretty known factors that can make it a bit hard doing business in Nigeria?
There are plenty. I think the first one though would be will. I mean, to want to do business, you gotta have the will to want to do it.
Sure.
And the passion to want to stay the course. It's very important if you want to do business in Nigeria. But some of the factors that inhibit doing business, apart from the will and the passion, is also funding. I think a lot of people think you need to have some kind of money to do business. I've seen a lot of people start the business with nothing, really, right? Just their sheer will and passion and network. So that's one thing that affects doing business. Also, know-how.
Technical know-how.
Yeah, technical know-how. Whether you actually know what you're doing or how to do the business. Or because a lot of people don't really understand businesses. Like we were speaking before the show, like can you just you're listening to radio every day and you just on your own radio station. But do you know how to go about it? Right? Who do you go to how to set up a radio station? Because if you don't go through the right channels and the right people, you might end up spending more than you actually should spend, in doing business. And then, of course, government is also a huge factor to doing business.
Yeah.
Government has a lot of barriers, things that just, inhibit doing, business. So whether it's giving you a license to operate, it's in an environment or in a business where licenses are required, whether it's providing the right incentive for you to remain in business, because it's very likely that you can start a business and you're making losses, but then they still want their taxes, right? So that places a huge burden on your kind of business. Customers as well can be a challenge. I mean, because customers take time to buy into your product or your service and like it. So you have to be able to withstand that customer patience. Be sure that this is some that they would like your product.
You get like the product. Yeah,
a lot of legwork in terms of advertising or word of mouth marketing or whatever. Just to ensure that they like your business. And then corruption as well is a bit of a challenge. Whether it's your employees trying to shaft you, or whether it's the next guy that supply you something and just doesn't supply it, and that thing is important input in
or regulators
of production or
asking for kickbacks,
or things like that. So people asking for bribes, even logistics. Like I've seen people. Everything is right in the business. Like the entire business model is watertight. Everything is fine. The customers are there, ready to take. Government is not the problem. You've raised the money, but just to move your goods from point A to point B,
wahala.
It's trouble, right? I know a very big guy who was telling me how into super logistics business, and every other week he's paying, trying to like sort out kidnappers to get, his truck people out because they just keep kidnapping this guy. So that's also a problem, and that's insecurity. Right? Yeah. So I think these are the things that really and that's why you see people who start businesses and fail.
Sorry, I think we have a call. We'll come back to that. Sorry. Hello, good morning. Hello. I think we lost that. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so that's why you see when people start a business and fail, they just get tired and just go and be employees. Right, because
fear of the unknown, and that's one of the reasons why a good number of possible entrepreneurs are not coming forward. Fear of the unknown. Let me just stay in my comfort zone, my 9-to-5 paying job, and just live this my dream in the cooler.
And even if you break that, fear of the unknown, and then you go into it, some of these things I've mentioned are also, challenges that
I think we have another caller again.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Can we meet you, please?
My name is Zeno. I'm calling from Aja.
Hello, Zeno. How you doing today?
I'm fine. Thank you.
What's your
How
take?
Are you doing?
I'm great. What's your take?
Okay, first of all, I would like to say that I'm an entrepreneur and I can totally relate to today's topic about doing business. Like your guest said, it's the passion and drive that has kept me going, and a lot of us that are in business has kept us going. So I totally understand. And what I would like to say is that I personally think that there is a need for the government to increase incentives, make power supply, I won't say constant because that may not be achievable, but more regular because we spend a lot of money on
alternate power source.
Because we have to be online these days. We have to reach out to people. So I feel that if they can sort out that aspect, you'll go a long way. A lot of business owners are spending money on diesel, and it's very challenging. It affects the productivity of the business. So I feel that that's one of the aspects that the government should look into.
Fantastic.
So, yes, that's my take on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zeno. Thanks for calling. Thanks for calling. Thank you. Now, Ugo, would you want to say something to back up what the caller, Zeno?
Yeah, I mean, always great hearing from entrepreneurs themselves. And like I said, any entrepreneur that you see would tell you that, look, despite all the odds and all the, challenges, it's the passion, tenacity that keeps them going, right? So when you're very passionate, resolute about your business, no matter what it throws at you, you just stand firm. And you just keep, going. And there are a lot of people out there who are not afraid to fail, right? So failure is just, another aspect of success, right? So it's not like failure. The people who don't see failure as an opposite of success, it's just all part of achieving success. It's just one of those things that you have to, you got to face. So, I agree with her completely. Very much so.
Good. Now, our phone lines remain 0818-242-6591, 0818-242-6591. Now, Ugo, let's look at this other question. What would you say are some of the best investment businesses that one can set up in Nigeria? I got a list from my research. I don't know if you well, from your own analogy and ideology, what would you say are some of the best businesses that you can advise any wannabe investor to look? Go into this.
Guys, you see, William is giving me jam question. Jam question. where all the answers are correct. I mean, have you faced the question where all the answers are correct? And you're like, what are these people trying to make me do? Like,
some of these professional exams online are like that, where they will jiggle your head. Everything looks correct.
Yeah. So, Ben, all businesses are great. I mean, I don't think that there's one business that's better than the other, right? It all depends on your gift, your passion, what you want. So there are people who are in quotes, I mean, this is radio, but shit business, right? People are in that kind of business. There are people who are in business of selling sand, people selling water. So different kind of businesses, and people make a whole lot of money from it, right? I know somebody who's sunk in millions in moving sand from one part of Lekki to another, and he's never regretted that business, right? Making a lot of money. So different kind of businesses, to be honest. But one thing you need to look at as well is what you want out of a business. I think that should determine maybe the kind of business that you want to go in. So are you looking for a business that you want to attract high increased capital appreciation? Maybe you want the value of your business to grow, not necessarily in terms of revenue or profit and things like, just you're looking for a value business. So that would typically be tech-related businesses, because tech-related businesses attract high valuation, right? So then that's where you want to go to, but you got to ask yourself, do you have the technical know-how, for that kind of business and all that? There are also businesses that cater to different type of people, whether it's young, old, and all that. So my direct response to your question really would be, the best kind of business is the business where you think you're able to make a change, right? You're able to basically, demonstrate capacity, demonstrate the ability to innovate, like, to change the way people perceive that business. So for you, if your line of business is media, for example, that's it. I mean, I don't think that you don't know that maybe doctors or maybe software engineers and probably earn more than media guys, but that doesn't deter you. I mean, this is what you want to do, business, and you can make the most out of that business. So I don't think that there's any when you say most lucrative businesses or investments out there, I wouldn't. I mean, there are people whose business is to invest in businesses. That's their business.
True.
There are people whose business is to lend to businesses. They don't do any business. They just lend money to businesses. And there's people whose own is just to invest in businesses. And there are even some employees who make money more than entrepreneurs, right? Your salary is more than what you can ever make for whatever it is that you sell. So whether it's you're in the business of trading securities or banking or insurance or oil and gas or technology or health, I mean, these are all great businesses, and I think Nigerians should be free to invest in any kind of business. Don't let anyone tell you this is better than the other. The kind of business that you should go into should be the business that that suits your passion, suits your drive, and it should be the business that you think you can make a lot more impact, right? And of course, it should also be the business that can pay your bills. There's no need going into a passion business that will not pay your bill.
Won't pay your bill.
Don't do it to maybe you say, my passion business is to be training people how to play football, but you cannot pay your rent.
You can't pay your rent.
That's not business. That's the hobby. So you gotta be able to distinguish between business
and a hobby,
and a hobby,
and
right?
pastime.
So a business pays you money.
Yes.
A hobby doesn't pay you money. A hobby is just a hobby. You just like to do it for fun.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
So that's why you see a lot of footballers tell you that,
Okay.
man, there's nothing as good as...
We have another call.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay, great.
I think we lost that. Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, so that's why the footballers tell you, like, man, I just love what I do because this is what I love doing. And there's nothing more greater than making money from what you love doing.
True.
Right? So that's when hobby and business, collide.
Yes.
Yeah. And there are a lot of guys today who make a lot of money, but they really hate what they're doing.
Very
right?
correct.
Like, they just hate it. But
very correct.
They just make money out of it. It's really not.
Then they'll go like,
right?
Susie pays the bill.
They can't wait to retire. Like, I just want to retire and move it on somebody else. And there's some guys that they just love what they're doing.
A call. Sorry, we have a call. We'll come back to that. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you please turn down the volume of your radio set?
Okay. Okay, good morning.
Good morning. Can we meet you, please?
Okay, my name is Ada. I'm calling you from Ikeja.
Good morning, Ada. Welcome to the show. What's your take?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'd like to appreciate your guest for coming in today to discuss this topic about culture and business.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
A lot of Nigerians, youth, need to start up one thing or the other to put food on the table and to help them get going because there are no jobs.
True.
There are no jobs. The only jobs that are available are marketing jobs. Those ones are readily available because every employer is looking for people who will come and add value to them. Sometimes with little or nothing. So every Nigerian needs to learn how to set up a business, like he said, not a hobby, so that they can be able to get by and grow and, put food on their table.
Pay the bills. Yeah, true.
Yeah. But the question now is, there are a lot of businesses online right now, and some even with the store and all of that. So how can a young entrepreneur start off with little or nothing? So let me give an example. Assuming I am a hairstylist.
Yeah.
Okay, I learned this hairstylist in a common place in Mushi, and I live in probably in one room apartment with my father and my mother. And after learning, I need to at least set up a place to start up. So how can I start up? How I need to get a place and all of that. How can a young person who wants to be an entrepreneur, who wants to set up his own business, get by?
Good question.
So I just want your best to share some tips so that a lot of persons can benefit that are listening to this show.
Thank you very much for that question and for calling in, Ada, to listening. Ugo, did you got her question?
Yeah, if I get that right, she's saying how can a young person start up a business? Like, if you want to do it, would I say?
That what tip would you have for a young person? Say like someone who's gifted in hair making. What would you advise the person?
I think the first thing is being gifted in that thing, which means like I said earlier, you've got to really understand the business that you're going into. That's really your moat. That's what would help you sustain that kind of business. Because if you understand the business that you're going into, like if you're the person who gets it, then that's the first thing you want to do. And good to know that, okay, so if you really are a good stylist or you're good hairdresser, then that's fabulous. The next thing, of course, is asking yourself, what do I want to get out of this business? I think it's one question that a lot of entrepreneurs need to ask themselves sometimes. Like, do I want this business just to pay my bills? You know what I mean?
True.
Do I want this business to be bigger than me? Like, I want to
something I want to live for my kids.
One day have employees. I want to serve the entire Lagos.
True.
So you've got to ask yourself, how big is your dream? There's really nothing wrong in dreaming small.
Yeah.
There are people who just want to just operate, very limited.
Yeah.
Right. And there are people who just want to unlimited. But it's always very important to ask yourself that question, because when you do, it helps with the foundation of your business. I mean, think about, you want to build a house and you just start with a bungalow, and then one day you decide, you know what, I can actually go like 10 floors. But then you didn't pile, right? For 10 floors. So, but if you pile for 10 floors and you say, look, I have money for just one floor now, then you can keep adding.
Exactly.
So you got to approach your business like that as well.
Exactly.
So that's why you must ask yourself, how do you want this business to grow? Because then you paint a huge vision for the business.
Okay. Sorry. We'll have another call. Sorry. Hello. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes. Good morning. Can we meet you, please?
My name is Onyemeti.
Chimeze from Ikorodu. How you doing, Chimeze?
Onyemeti from Ikorodu.
Oh, Onyemechi from Ikorodu. Yes, one of our regular callers. Yes, I remember. How you doing today?
I'm okay. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
I greet our guest.
Our guest they are greeting you.
Hello. Hi. How are you, Onyemechi?
Welcome, Onyemechi. What's your take today?
What I try to say is that because I learned many things there and it reminds me so many things. Like our business in Nigeria now. If anybody is doing business and is not making a state at least income, it can still drop. It means that the business is not moving at all. Some people that will come to area, they can rent stuff, they don't know how the area is like, whether it's living or not. And then we started putting ties, putting everything, removing roof and changing everything. After changing it, under 3 months,
Business is not moving.
Then we start going down. You know that everything is staying inside the shop or something like that, money and food stuff. And so we come, then we just look at, like one that I know, someone is selling mirrors and he tries to pack out, and another comes to the same area and he removes everything, put iron, everything inside the shop before he started selling mirrors. After the sort of a few months, people started fighting that buying something that we call the spying one, and that's what is not moving. So sometimes, if someone wants to make such a business like that,
Yes.
you have to check everywhere where you are and what you are selling and how the thing is moving.
Very true. I like that you observe. I like your point of observation, Onyemechi. Thanks for calling in, Onyemechi. Now, Ugo, did you pick the analogy he was giving? Onyemechi is one of our regular callers, by the way. I think he's into the business of supplying gas in Ikorodu. Now, he was talking about the fact that some people start up business or maybe start up shop and go pimping it up, giving it all the glitz and glam, only to now discover that the area or the location where you're situating that business or that shop does not fit the glitz and glam that you've spent.
Oh yes,
pimping it up.
Yeah, and that also feeds into my point about the things you need to do
Yes.
when you start a business. So you've also got to have business plan, a business plan, and business plan is not really
A sophisticated document.
You don't have to be a professor to write a business plan. I mean, you can just scribble something down on your phone and all. Just number of points that you need to do, and one of them is having market intelligence. And that's like super important.
Research your market.
Yeah, you've got to have very good market intelligence. Go and find out, okay, what business am I going into? Where's the best place to locate my business?
Exactly.
Who are my target customers? What do these customers really want?
True.
Do I really need to have a fancy office? And who knows if the business today is being serviced by unfancy offices? Will a fancy office give me a better edge?
Yeah.
Right.
True.
So, but you won't know all these things if you don't do your research. I was telling some people recently that the difference between rich and poor people, you know what it is?
What?
Information and networking. People who are extremely rich thrive a lot on information. They like to inform themselves because people who get informed, people who know, are the people who make.
They know how to get by.
So getting information and what you do with that information is super important. True. And then networking is important because networking helps you also, gives you a lot of business opportunities, and because the people you network with are the people that ultimately determines your net worth, right? So So that's why, business intelligence is very important. Market intelligence is very important. So you got to have very solid market intelligence. Please always have that. And then if you notice that I've not even talked about money. Money comes much later because you have to do all these things.
Yes.
Right. Before you even start to think about money. Before you start a business. So don't say, I want to start a business, but I need money.
But I need money.
No. Do you understand the business? Just to maybe do a recap.
True.
Is it something that you're good at? Get your market intelligence very well. Is it something you have passion for? What's your vision for that business? What do you want to do with that business? Right. And then do your market intelligence, write your business plan. And then that gives you an idea of the kind of money you want. There are some businesses that just require that you bootstrap. That's use your own money to start other people's money. Yeah. And then at some stage you start to grow. So those are the things that you have to do before you start a business. And these things gets you ready for different kind of failures because you would encounter failures.
Fantastic. Now we're fast coming to the home stretch today, but I still have 2 more questions to throw your way. One of which is, if somebody was to come to you and say, how can I invest my money wisely in Nigeria? What would you say to the person? What are some likely tips you will give? I have the money, and I'm like, yo, Ugo, please, I need your help. I see what Nairametrics puts up online every now and then. Give me some tips on how I can invest my money wisely in Nigeria.
So, I like to use one analogy when I talk about investing money, right?
Yeah.
The analogy basically is if you're going to start a business of selling orange, William, you're not just going to go into that business blindly, right? You ask yourself, okay, so where do these oranges come from? How much do they sell oranges in town? Who are the distributors of oranges? Who are the competitors? You make everybody we should do that, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the same approach you got to follow when it comes to investing
your money.
So who are you giving your money to? What do they want to use it for? What kind of return are they going to give you? Is that return good enough for you? What's the tenure of the return? Is it 1 month, 6 months? What's the failure rate for that company?
True.
Is it guaranteed? Is it insured? So these things are questions you got to ask because that helps you make an informed decision about whether to invest your money or not. And I think this also applies for regular businesses as well. And that's what I like to to say to people who ask me, like, when people tell you come on invest in something, that thing you're investing in, you gotta approach it like you're starting a business. So the same kind of scrutiny you give to starting a business is the same kind of scrutiny you should give to
that thing you want to invest
anything.
in.
So the person that is telling you to come on invest, you gotta ask yourself, are you asking me to invest so that you can meet your target? Pay your salary. Or you're asking me to invest
because this thing is actually profitable.
You gotta be able to discern that.
True.
Right? Because it's important, because the guy who tells you to go invest in this thing, next month now he gets another job, is gone, and you call him, how far? They've not given I don't leave that place.
I'm no longer there.
Let me give you the number that you can call.
True.
So you gotta be able to discern these things very well.
Yes, very true.
Yeah, before you decide
very
how
true.
to invest, and that would be my advice.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. Now, Ugo, before we go, I want to pick your mind on the recent news making waves now in Nigeria. Just came out some few days ago from the CBN. We heard that the CBN just froze the accounts of 4 fintech companies here in Nigeria, and that has been causing, I think about 6 of them, yes, and that has been causing a stir. Now, from your background and what you guys do at Nairametrics, what would be your take on this? How would you say this would affect the economy negatively, positively, or do you have an idea of what exactly is going on with this freeze?
Strange that so usually when there's something huge like this, I do a money brief on my Instagram where I try to break things down. So I haven't done any yet. So this would be my first public statement on this.
Great.
So if you listen to the CBN governor, I think a month ago when he banned sale of forex,
yeah,
he did make a lot of statements that day, and that was basically precursor to what is happening now. He mentioned that there were a lot of companies that were breaking their own forex policies and their forex guidelines and rules, and that they were going to come after them. And his opinion is that, or the opinion of the central bank is that these guys are basically, the ones making the black market thrive, and based on that, they are setting the pace for the exchange rate. So they are facilitating, what they characterize as, perhaps illegal demand for forex, fostering, speculation and things like that. And so they were going to clamp down a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
So starting with the BDCs. So the BDCs clamped down on them. They're not going to supply forex to them anymore. Now is the fintechs. And so what they are saying is that in 2015, there was a 41 ban item list that the CBN pushed out then, and the 41st item, like the bottom of that item, was actually use of forex to buy foreign securities. It's actually a banned item.
Okay.
So banned item by the CBN means that you can't use the CBN's fund or the banking system to facilitate that kind of transaction. And they opine that that's what the fintechs are doing. So if you're going to buy shares in any of this through these fintech apps, you deposit your naira there, and then they now convert that naira to you at the black market rate, right? In fact, so yesterday it was 522, right? And so they convert to you at the black market rate, and then you now have dollars in your position, and then you can now start to invest. So by doing that, you're going through the banking system. Now, whether the dollars that they're converting is the CBN dollars is a different thing. I doubt it. It's probably maybe dollars that they access within the black market, which in itself, the CBN considers as illegal.
Yes.
So it's a fine line. But at the end of the day, all these guys are doing is just business. They're trying to just facilitate Nigerians to be able to invest, and they're taking a cut out of that kind of investment. And how else can Nigerians invest in foreign securities if you don't have dollars? You can't use naira for it. So you've got to use dollars for it. But the thing is that there's always been an official way of doing these things. It's just rigorous, and fintechs have basically tried to make it
faster, quicker, easy.
And so it's tough to make it faster and easier without falling short of regulatory requirements. So that's what you see that it's going on. And so the CBN got a court injunction to freeze their accounts. And freezing their accounts means they will do a bit of investigation to see if there are malpractices. And at that point, we know what next. But I don't think this in any way affects the money that the investment
and
that
it shouldn't cause panic.
Things.
Customers and clients.
I think worst case, maybe perhaps it might be difficult to put money in there now. I would say be cautious about putting money in there since the account is frozen.
It's frozen.
There's no other.
You can't
way. Yeah, you can.
You just wait.
You can have that. So you just got to pause and be very careful. And your money in there is in there already. And I don't think that the government would want to confiscate your money at the end of the day. So worst case scenario, they tell them to refund to you and things like that. So that's basically what is going on. It's all about capital controls and forex and CBN trying to make sure that Nigerians
play by the rules. That they can
want
monitor.
To keep the exchange rate. For some of us, or some people who think it's artificial, I mean, important. And there's another point of view that I say, man, all this back and forth. I mean, just leave this exchange rate and all that. And, people can determine what it is.
Prepare itself over time.
So that's what's going on here. Yeah, there are a lot of unscrupulous people out there, and typically when government is bearing down on unscrupulous people, it also affects.
It also affects some legit ones.
It's not all BDCs that are bad. True. It's not all fintechs that are bad.
True.
But when government is going all out, I mean, they are bandwagon effects. So that's what you're saying.
True. But Ugo, I think it's very important to let the listeners know that in a general sense, where the government is not saying that these fintechs are distressed.
No.
So your monies are safe. It's just that they want to do some background checks to be sure that certain things are being done right. So your monies
the government hasn't
are
come out
safe.
to say monies is safe, but I mean, for those of us who, I have investments in those things as well. So I don't think that this is my personal opinion that your money is unsafe. I think your money is safe.
Yeah.
all they've done is frozen their account so that they can
investigate.
Right? They are not distressed. They are not deposit
Yes,
banks.
they've not
it's
said
not
that.
like they will go down or the money's lost. They don't lend money. They just help you facilitate investment. So they are a brokerage firm. So they collect money from you, convert to dollars for you, and then you yourself determine where you invest that dollar in, and they just push that money there for you. So in terms of that kind of structure, it's as safe as it gets. The only thing is that can they allow them continue? That's what we don't know.
That's what we don't know yet.
And same thing happens in crypto markets. Today, you can't buy cryptocurrency in Nigeria from a brokerage firm, right? Or a cryptocurrency exchange. You can only do it using peer-to-peer, P2P, which is you have to find somebody who you wants to buy and you sell to that person and things like
fantastic. Why we go? Believe it or not, 1 hour is practically gone.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for being on the program today, and we really appreciate all the insights you've been giving. And that is how we will call it a wrap for today. My guest has been Mr. Ugodre Obichukwu, the founder and partner at Nairametrics Financial Advocate, and we've been looking at the business culture in Nigeria and the investment opportunities, and it's been a very interesting program so far. Thank you very much once more, Ugo, for being on the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
So that's the much we can take on the show today. Financial Matters brought to you by Fidelity Bank. Special thanks to all of our callers and listeners. You guys are the reason why we bring this show your way every Thursday morning on Hot 93.3. We say you should continue to listen and continue to give us your call whenever we ask for. Until we come your way, same time, same station next week. As I always say on the show, please stay safe out there. COVID-19 is still very much real. And let's all continue to keep a positive mind, and the sky might just be the beginning of our success. Bye, guys.
All right.
Let's do a quick picture.
This is how you walk when you know you've got your payments covered. You're confident. No bill payments can shake you. Need to make a quick payment? Your Fidelity banking app's available 24/7. You don't have data? *770# is all you need. You're out and about? Your Fidelity Bank card's accepted everywhere. Need cash right now? There's a Fidelity Bank ATM near you. Bills, transfers, payments, purchases, nothing can faze you. So walk tall, cause you know Fidelity is always there for you. Start banking with Fidelity today.
We're Fidelity. We keep our word.